what we do is we click the tongs to kind of let him know that we're about to eat. And then just offer up the food. Try to make him work for it.
Oh,
there we go.
Dude, are you guys serious?
It does get a little gory. I hope he doesn't squirt anything on you. It has happened. But, oh, and I saved you. Oh, perfect.
I think he wants more.
Oh, yeah. He can't know how many I really have. And then he won't stop. So with him, he is really nice about it. So he knows the difference between hands and food. But if he were to start charging at this hand, that's when he would lose the idea of what is hand and what is food. But when you're presented in this kind of formation or fashion, he does know what he's going on. But now we got, there we go. Come on, you're going to have to come out for this one. Come on. Oh, over here. There you go. Sophie. Oh,
guts everywhere, guys. Guts everywhere.
So it's not for the faintest of heart. You gotta clean up guts and dog-sized poops.
Wasted. Can I pet it?
Yes, of course. So yeah, just right on the top there.
Feels like
you
rubber.
Might feel, yeah. He might buck you off, but what he does is he just shakes his head to let you know that maybe he's not interested in being touched, but he's happy right now. Come on, all the way out.
Okay, so when and how did you think that you were like, okay, I'm going to go get a 4-foot-long lizard as a pet? How did that go about?
So about 3 years ago, I saw one of these Tegus on Instagram, I believe, and I just thought it was so cool, and I really wanted to expand the idea of reptile keeping, and so Patrick and I decided to just do all of our research. We've both researched for months at a time, just trying to get everything set up. I had to contact my dad, who they fortunately live in town, so that was really nice. We could collaborate on it, and I said, hey, I want to adopt this lizard. He's going to get about 4 feet long, and so would you be willing to help me build a big, like 8-foot by 4-foot wide cage? And he was like, yeah, you're crazy. I don't understand you, but yes, of course I will help you. And so, yeah, we built it. We adopted him. He started out in about a 55-gallon tank, which is about 3 feet wide. Oh, he's trying to... What are you doing? Oh, he's trying to go over. He's trying to explore. And so we built it, switched him out of the terrarium, which was very hard to keep up the humidity with a screen top cage, and it was kind of difficult to maneuver the humidifier hose. It was just a lot more work, and so wood was a better option. We have had some issues with the wood, but, you know, that's what happens when you put wet things in wood. You just get issues. But, yeah, so we just decided that we could handle it, and we saved up a little bit and called around to this pet store. Twin Cities Reptiles is where we got him from. And they had one male Tegu left. It was the species we wanted because there is differences between the reds, the blue Tegus, and then he is a black and white Tegu.
Okay.
So I called every day for a week to make sure he was still there. And so they knew this one person, this one girl, kept calling about him and was going to come and get him. And so Patrick got off work early one day, and he went and we took out the cash, and we went, and he went while I was in class and came home and set everything up. And, yeah, that's been it since.
When you say a little bit of cash, how much are we talking?
Okay, so he himself costed $350. And so, and then the everything included, if you're not buying smart and cheaply online, you're spending usually about $60 to $80 for the humidifier, like $55 for the 55-gallon aquarium tank, terrarium, and then, substrate, we use cocoa mulch, but you use a lot of it, so that tends to get expensive. But yeah, and when they're babies, or hatchlings as they call them, they eat a lot of insects.
You just
He
fart?
just burped.
Oh.
And so he loved insects, but insects are really expensive, which people don't think about when they think reptiles. They think like insects are like so cheap. But to get enough protein from insects, most reptiles have to consume a lot of them. So then you're buying a lot or you're breeding a lot, like the person that you have visited before.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was about altogether to put everything up, probably about $600, yeah. Because we didn't really know some of the smarter, cheaper places to buy things on like clearance or to buy things. Let's go over here, buddy.
Is there any place you would recommend for new owners that want to get into the market for this kind of?
Yeah, I would look on forums. There's a particular forum that we've learned almost everything from. It's called tegutalk.com. They offer like brands that they really like, go through products that they really like. And so I think anything from Petco online tends to be cheaper. I try not to shop through Amazon just for personal reasons, but Walmart tends to have reptile supplies, weirdly enough. The UVB bulbs that we use to mimic sunlight, we use a brand called Mega Ray, and they're about $50 a pop, but they have the highest level of UVB output that you can get. So it's about as close as you can get to sunlight, and we've been able to see the results of that and the benefits of using that through his x-rays from the vet, because he's swallowed a few things in his time.
Okay. That's another thing I wanted to touch up on. How much
Definitely.
does it need like shots or anything? Does it need to go to the vet like occasionally, or how does that go?
Yearly vet appointments, especially when either in the growing stages or come on, Bilbo. Sorry, he's a sniffer. We just recommend anyone bringing in reptiles, just like a cat yearly visit, you should bring in your reptiles once a year. But we have had situations where he has torn up, like his fluff pouch. He had a house before and he ate it, parts of it, and his microbe in his stomach started getting messed up, and so we had to do some medications to get that right. And then he once swallowed a command hook about that size. And fortunately, he passed it. But yeah, when we sent that picture to his vet, she was like, "Who is your lizard? Where did you find this creature?" But yeah, so it's I would say for a new owner, you should expect to spend about $150 a month, or not a month, oh my gosh, a year on potential vet visits. If you do everything right, there isn't a reason why your Tegu should need significant vet care past that standpoint.
So earlier we were feeding it baby chicks and rats, right? So like, where do you get those? Do you get them frozen? Do you get them live? Or how does the food work? What's the cost like?
So we found out that ordering online in bulk, ordering about 50 chicks per order, would last us 4 to 6 months usually. I mean, they last pretty a while. And the difficulty with feeding whole prey is you're trying to find the right balance between too fatty and just enough whole organs and whole prey. But we use Perfect Prey online. and we just order, yeah, about 50. And then sometimes as a treat, we'll get mice, but we do prefer to do chicks because they are less fatty. They tend to have more bone and cartilage. So that works out well.
And how much was that? You said 50 for how much?
It's usually about 80 to 100, but that's ends up being cheaper because at places like PetSmart and Petco and other retail shops like that, you're going to be spending like $2 to $3 per mouse per chick, whereas we're buying them for $1 in bulk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems expensive, but it's not very, like $100 a year on food. It's almost expected when you.
But that's only for the whole prey. He eats
for the whole
ground
prey.
meats. We found that raw dog food companies, they don't add anything else in there, so they just grind up bone and organ meat. They take basically an entire cow and they grind it up and mix it with vegetables. And so it comes in a pre-made form, and since he is a bit pickier and he'll find vegetables and not eat them, he is that smart about what he is eating. He knows what's going in. And so those dog foods tend to be really stinky and very difficult for him to know what he's eating. And that is crucial, getting all of the essential nutrients from fruits, vegetables. Fish are a big one because you get the omega-3 fatty acids, which help with their skin. He hasn't shed in about 6 months, so he's darker than he normally would be. There are hues of brown on him where there would normally just be kind of black and gray. But yeah, and so vegetables are a big thing for him. Ground turkey is a great substitute. We love shrimp, smelt. You can buy it in big bags at Walmart. There's a lot of ways that you can get around having to find these kind of relatively difficult to get meats, like liver. Like where do you find liver? So a lot of people say that Asian markets are really great because you can get snails. They love snails. And you can get different kinds of like crayfish. He's giving me the eye. Little kisses. Kisses. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that kiss.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so guys, you guys are looking at about 600 to start up, and a lot of these places where you guys keep them, where they house them, they're usually, what I've noticed is they're man-made. They're not like pre-made, so you kind of have to like do the design yourself. And it would help if you guys have like a carpenter or somebody like that in your house, but this is the way you want to do it. If you guys can see, it's pretty deep. It's about like 5 feet.
4 feet wide, or 4 feet deep. It's about 1.5 feet tall. I think, yeah, 18 inches tall, I believe. And we've learned that having wood on the bottom, wet, so we've had to, we raise it up now with just patio stones to keep it off of the carpet so our carpet doesn't get harmed. And then the bottom is always able to dry out. It's got some airflow. And then we also took measures and did a triple thick tarp because his claws are so sharp that when he digs, he could potentially scratch it open, and then it kind of negates the purpose of having such a thick tarp. We do have to trim his nails, which he has gotten better about over the years. If you can manage to keep it so that the bone in his toe doesn't bend too much and makes him uncomfortable, then he will really just sit and let you do whatever.
So what I've noticed is a lot of people are like, oh, I love these animals, I love these snakes, but then they're like, I'm scared to have him around my kids. Mm-hmm. Is he cool around kids? How does he act? Is he pretty chill?
Just like a dog. If you were to train it, well, the
little
dogs
bit
are
more,
probably more extensive.
He's maybe a little bit more shy and timid.
What we did when he was younger was when he would try to bite, we would just let him bite your finger, because at the time his teeth aren't big enough to like do any damage. So you let him bite on you, and then eventually he'll get bored. So he just won't do it anymore. And the only time we've ever had an issue with him biting is when somebody tries to hand feed.
Me.
Never
Don't hand feed him.
Hand feed. Their teeth are razor sharp. and they went right through her fingernail. So
Yeah, they're very
Yeah,
sharp.
I
but
think
we never have an issue with, biting
Tongs or anything like that.
anything.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere there's like 1,000 pounds of pressure when they take a bite, so it's a pretty
then
nasty bite,
They can
guys.
do a roll, their death roll. So if he's
Like
never done that.
like alligators and
Yeah.
crocodiles.
Almost, yeah. They have
Yeah.
evolved to certain significant alligator roll.
But we've never had an issue with him biting anyone or anything,
Okay.
except for food.
Yeah.
This guys looks prehistoric. Like it's absolutely beautiful. I would definitely recommend. As you guys can see, we've been petting it, holding it, not an issue.
Yeah.
No scratches,
If
no
you train
bites.
your kids as well as you train your lizard, you'll have no issues. It's basically just if you put in as much time into teaching your kids how to potty train and stuff like that, you'll see it right away in your lizard. I mean, he doesn't go to the bathroom in his cage because he doesn't want to live in his own filth. So it's really just taking that same level of dedication that people put towards cats and dogs and just putting it towards your reptile. And you have this partner for the next 15 to 20 years. And, and he really is just the love of our lives. We love him so much.
Now, is he fully grown right now?
Yes, we think so.
How old is he?
He is 3 years old.
3.
Yeah.
Yep, 3.5.
We estimate that he was born around September 3 years ago.
Okay. And how long before they get to their final form? Like a year or two, or?
It took him about 2.5 years to get full grown. He just wants to smell you.
I don't mind. I just want him to get in the shot. He's so beautiful.
He's doing the investigate. He's like, maybe if I approach her from over here, then Mom can't get me. But yeah, it takes about 2.5 years to fully grow out. Some grow really fast, but they've also been fed very fast. So you deal with potential of obesity, and that's a big deal with captive bred large lizards like that, and almost all captive bred lizards.